Did you know there's a place where you can't drink the tap water, but you can buy a house for just $100? Welcome to Kazakhstan, a land of stark contrasts and mind-bending paradoxes. In this video, we're taking you on a journey through a country where unimaginable wealth sits side by side with extreme poverty. Get ready to challenge everything you thought you knew about economic development and quality of life. Welcome to Kazakhstan, a land of staggering contrasts. Did you know it's the world's largest landlocked country? Yet despite its vast size, Kazakhstan grapples with a surprising challenge: access to clean water. Let's talk about the paradox at the heart of Kazakhstan's economy. This Central Asian giant sits on a treasure trove of natural resources. Massive oil reserves fuel the nation's economic engine, promising prosperity and growth. Kazakhstan ranks among the world's top oil producers, with fields in the Caspian Sea region yielding black gold by the barrel. But here's where things get interesting. While oil flows freely, many Kazakhs struggle to access something far more basic: safe drinking water. It's a stark contrast that might leave you scratching your head. How can a country rich in resources fail to provide such a fundamental necessity? The reality is that Kazakhstan's focus on oil and gas has often overshadowed the development of essential infrastructure. While gleaming skyscrapers rise in cities like Almaty and nur-sultan, rural areas and smaller towns face a different reality. In these places, turning on the tap doesn't always guarantee clean, drinkable water. This disparity becomes even more apparent when you look at the numbers. Kazakhstan produces millions of barrels of oil each day, contributing significantly to the global energy market. Yet simultaneously, water scarcity affects large portions of the population, particularly in southern regions where proper water management is crucial for sustainable living. So how do Kazakhs cope with this stark contrast in their daily lives? The answer lies in the resilience and ingenuity of local communities. Faced with the challenges of limited water access, many have turned to innovative solutions. Some areas have implemented water-saving technologies, making the most of every precious drop. Other communities have developed grassroots water management programs, taking control of their resources at a local level. These initiatives are more than just stopgap measures. They represent a growing awareness of the need to balance resource extraction with basic infrastructure development. Experts in the country are increasingly pushing for a more holistic approach to economic growth, one that doesn't leave essential services behind. Kazakhstan's housing market defies logic and expectation. Imagine a place where you can become a homeowner for just $100. In Kazakhstan, this isn't a far-fetched dream. It's a surprising reality that raises more questions than answers. Let's talk about this incredibly cheap housing market in certain areas of Kazakhstan. In rural regions, particularly those experiencing depopulation, you can find houses for sale at prices that seem almost too good to be true. We're talking about homes that cost less than your average smartphone. But why are these properties so affordable, especially in a country known for its significant oil wealth? The answer lies in a complex web of factors, with rural exodus playing a major role. Many young Kazakhs are leaving their countryside homes behind, flocking to urban centers like Almaty and nur-sultan in search of better economic opportunities. This migration has left numerous properties vacant, driving down prices in rural areas to astonishingly low levels. To put this into perspective, let's look at some real examples. While you might pay over $300 per month to rent a one-bedroom apartment in a larger city, you could potentially buy a house outright in a rural area for a fraction of that cost. These price differences highlight the stark economic disparities between urban and rural Kazakhstan. But before you start planning your move to become a Kazakh homeowner, it's important to ask, what's the catch with these incredibly cheap properties? As you might expect, there are some significant challenges and potential risks to consider. First, many of these low-cost homes are located in areas with limited infrastructure. Access to essential services like healthcare, education, and even reliable utilities can be a major concern. Additionally, these properties often require significant repairs and renovations due to years of neglect from previous owners who left in search of better opportunities elsewhere. Moreover, the incredibly low housing prices reflect the economic challenges faced by residents in these regions. The average income in rural areas is significantly lower than in major cities, which contributes to the affordability of housing, but also indicates limited local job prospects and economic growth. Despite these challenges, the unique housing market in Kazakhstan offers an interesting lens through which to view the country's broader economic landscape. It's a vivid illustration of the contrasts and paradoxes that define this fascinating nation. From oil wealth to water scarcity, from urban skyscrapers to rural homes selling for pocket change, Kazakhstan continues to surprise and intrigue. You've seen the incredibly cheap rural houses, but what about life in Kazakhstan's glittering cities? Picture a place where oil wealth has created urban oases of prosperity, while vast swaths of the countryside struggle to access clean water. What forces have shaped this dramatic divide, and what does it mean for Kazakhstan's future? Welcome to Almaty, Kazakhstan's largest city and financial hub. Here, luxury cars cruise down wide boulevards, passing high-end boutiques and gleaming skyscrapers. The city buzzes with energy, its cafes and restaurants filled with well-dressed professionals sipping lattes and discussing business deals. Now, let's take a short drive to a rural village just hours away. The contrast is stark and immediate. Unpaved roads wind through modest homes, many in need of repair. Instead of designer stores, you'll find small local markets selling basic necessities. How can such extreme differences exist within the same country? The answer lies in a complex web of economic policies and resource distribution. Kazakhstan's focus on developing its oil and gas industries has led to a concentration of wealth in urban centers, particularly Almaty and the capital, Nur-Sultan. These cities have become magnets for investment, job opportunities, and modern amenities. Meanwhile, rural areas have often been left behind, receiving less attention and fewer resources for development. This urban-rural divide is reflected in stark income disparities. In Almaty, the average salary is significantly higher than in rural regions, where many families struggle to meet basic needs. Access to healthcare and education follows a similar pattern. Urban areas benefit from modern hospitals and well-equipped schools, while rural communities often make do with limited facilities and fewer qualified professionals. The impact of these contrasts on Kazakh society and culture is profound. Young people from rural areas increasingly migrate to cities in search of better opportunities, leading to a brain drain in the countryside. This migration is reshaping traditional family structures and community ties. At the same time, it's creating a cultural divide, with urban areas adopting more modern lifestyles, while rural regions maintain traditional practices and social structures. The social and political implications of this economic divide are far-reaching. It raises questions about social equity and the future of rural communities. As the gap between urban and rural areas widens, there's growing concern about social stability and national cohesion. The government has implemented policies to address these disparities, but challenges remain in effectively distributing resources and improving living standards across the country. You might think that a country with such vast oil reserves would guarantee prosperity for all its citizens. Yet for many Kazakhs, the reality is far more challenging. So how do people reconcile their nation's immense wealth with their personal economic struggles? The answer lies in a unique blend of resilience, creativity, and cultural adaptation that might surprise you. Let's talk about how everyday Kazakhs navigate this land of contrasts. In their daily lives, many face the challenge of making ends meet in a country where wealth is unevenly distributed. Imagine living in a place where you can see the glittering towers of oil wealth on the horizon, but struggle to afford basic necessities. This is the reality for many Kazakhs, especially those in rural areas. But here's where it gets interesting. Rather than being defeated by these challenges, Kazakhs have developed innovative ways to cope and even thrive. One of the most striking examples is the strong sense of community and mutual support that permeates Kazakh society. Families often come together to share resources and help each other through tough times. This spirit of cooperation extends beyond family ties, with neighbors and entire communities pooling their efforts to overcome shared obstacles. In response to economic hardships, many Kazakhs have embraced entrepreneurship. Small businesses have sprung up across the country, catering to local needs and creating new opportunities. These range from traditional craft workshops to modern tech startups, showcasing the diverse skills and adaptability of the Kazakh people. Kazakhstan's rich cultural heritage also plays a crucial role in how people navigate economic challenges. Traditional practices are being reimagined for the modern world. Take the ancient art of yurt making, for example. Once a necessity for nomadic life, it's now being revitalized as a form of sustainable tourism, providing income for local artisans while preserving cultural traditions. Music and dance, deeply ingrained in Kazakh culture, serve as more than just entertainment. These art forms provide a way for people to express themselves, bond with their communities, and find solace during difficult times. In urban and rural areas alike, you'll find Kazakhs coming together to celebrate their heritage through song and movement, creating a sense of unity and shared identity that transcends economic divides. What can the world learn from Kazakhstan's unique situation? Perhaps it's the power of resilience and adaptability in the face of paradoxical circumstances. As we wrap up our exploration of this fascinating country, consider how the creativity and community spirit of the Kazakh people might inspire solutions to global challenges. Their story reminds us that even in the most complex and contradictory environments, human ingenuity and cultural strength can pave the way for a brighter future.